of Social Waves Media. And I have been managing lead generation ads since about 2016. And in 2022, I entered the space of insurance. And I like to always say it was actually an ad audit that I did with Luis. And through that ad audit, not only did we reduce his cost per lead by over 75%, but I like to say that it kind of changed everything because it opened my eyes to how unethical the insurance space is for you guys, the insurance agents. There are so many different practices that are created by design to keep you guys stuck and dependent on lead vendors, on the overhead of a marketer, on these done for you systems. That the reality is, if you dissolve the relationship, you don't keep any of the data, they take it all. So, ever since then, I've been on a mission to empower agents to be able to generate their own exclusive leads. And today, we're going to be diving deep into meta ads. We're going to be talking about the three primary keys to have optimal lead generation results. You're going to understand why some campaigns do not work, why they work for other agents, and there's some very exciting new tools that have recently come out that we're going to dive into. So if you guys have any questions, I'm going to open the chat up. I can try to answer them as we go, but we'll also make sure that we have time for Q&A at the end.
Yeah, and
So
I'll hit you
you
up, Sean.
guys,
I'll interrupt you if that's okay. If somebody comes up with a good question that
yeah.
we got to answer right there. Otherwise, we'll wait for the end.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so you guys know lead generation. It's literally the fuel to your business. So in 2025, the realistic options that you have, of course, are networking, are grassroots marketing. You know, the time issue with these is that they're time intensive and you're not sure what the results are going to be. There's, of course, direct mail. You can purchase leads. We all know the ups and downs of purchasing leads from lead vendors. And then there is generating leads from social media and having the ability to truly reach people that are actually interested in what you have to offer. And out of all of the many social media platforms out there, in my experience, the best platform for you to be active on as an agent is Meta, aka Facebook and Instagram. So these are the big reasons that sets Meta apart from other platforms. So first, it's very easy to create a professional business page, and people are typically utilizing Instagram and Facebook to research businesses before they consider working with them. You get two platforms for one. You can post on Facebook and Instagram at the same time, and now we're moving into threads. They have a very large and engaged audience. It surprises a lot of people when I say that there's over 25 million active users in the United States that are over the age of 65. So there's 3 billion active users. So your audience, whatever demographic you're trying to get in front of, is active on this platform. You can direct message, which is something that we're going to talk about a little bit later, which is exciting. They've got a very advanced targeting and algorithm if you do run ads. And my favorite thing for agents is you do not have to be tech savvy in order to get killer lead generation results. So I always like to tell agents just briefly the history of meta advertising that kind of makes things make sense whenever you hear marketers talk about it. And there's two big things that have happened that directly affect insurance and lead generation. The first was back in 2020. There was a big update with the iOS 14 update. And what it essentially did was it made it more difficult for Facebook to track what people were doing when they were off Facebook. And so that changed the way that we as marketers approached Facebook marketing. And the traditional strategy was super complex and layered. Like you had to have a website, we had to install Pixel, we had to do landing page, we had to A/B test all of these niche audiences, and so on. But when this happened, the way that Meta responded was a more simple approach to lead generation. Keeping users on the platform means that you do not even have to have a website to have the best lead generation ads out there. And in fact, Meta created something that is literally called a lead generation ad. So this is kind of what the walkthrough looks like for a user. They click on the campaign, they open up the ad, they're going to see the form, submit the form, and then go to a thank you page. So kind of in real time, these happen to be two Medicare ads. So this one on the left is for T65. This one on the right is more for what you would run during AEP. So if someone is scrolling through Facebook and they see this ad, then they make the decision to click on the Learn More button. They'll be greeted with a welcome page, which there's so many different things we can do with this. This right here is an example of a reminder word, so that way they'll know who you are whenever you call. Then they will give you their information, fly through where you need to have your privacy policy link, and just like that, they've become a lead and they're taken to the thank you page. So you can see that when things changed, it actually became a more straightforward way to generate leads. Now, of course, you can run ads for tons of different things, but today we're primarily focusing on just lead generation. Then the next big change that you may have heard of, and you guys tell me, have you heard of this? That insurance became a special ad category. This happened in January of 2025, so super duper recent. Now, the purpose of a special ad category is to prevent advertisers from discriminating against specific demographics for things such as housing opportunities, job opportunities, financial opportunities, and political ads. So it makes sense the reason why they created this. And this happened in about 2022. But in 2025, they decided that all lines of business, Medicare, doesn't matter if it's IUL, annuity, it's all going to be considered a financial ad category. So what that did was it did change some things and it did shake some things up. When we run a campaign in the special ad category, there are certain things that we can still control. So we can still control the state that your ad is served in. So you can limit it to only the states that you're licensed in. A city, you've got interest targeting ad placement. And the most important, which we're going to talk about later, is ad messaging. Now, the things as an advertiser we can no longer control: the zip code, the gender, and the age. But here's the deal. While that sounds like it could be the death, especially to like Medicare ads, the good news is it's actually not. And we're going to dive into this a little bit more. We're going to talk more about why you can still have a strategic approach and get your ads served to the right demographic, especially if you're targeting T65 or if you're trying to get primarily 65 plus. So we're definitely going to dive into that. So it is still completely possible for you to generate results that look like this. So this is a screenshot of the ads manager. You can see the cost per lead. The amount that was spent on the campaign is in the far right. So this works irregardless of if you have a large budget or if you have a small budget. And it all comes down to understanding these three keys. Now, I like to tell people, look, Facebook ads are like a tool. They're like a paintbrush. Anyone can pick up a paintbrush. Anyone can slap some paint on a canvas and say, look, I made a painting. Other people become a little bit more skilled and you can see what they're painting, like an apple here, while others truly master how to use the tool and they can create a masterpiece like this. Meta is great. You're about to see how great they are about giving you opportunities to spend your money on ads and to use their system as a tool. But only the advertisers that truly understand how to harness all of the different features are going to have the keys to unlock the real results. So let's dive into, these are the three most important things when it comes to managing your own ads. So the very first thing, or whether you have someone else manage it or you yourself, key number one, you need to utilize the Meta Ads Manager. Okay, so Facebook has a tool that is called the Ads Manager that unlocks a whole bunch of different abilities. Now, when you first create a business page, this is a screenshot from mobile. You are going to see the moment that you get a business page, you're going to see all sorts of stuff like promote. If you open it up, you're going to see things like boost a post. And with just a few buttons, you can set up something that is supposed to get you more leads. We're not going to be running ads from here. This is a mistake. Same thing if you're looking at it on desktop, you're going to see all sorts of things that prompt you. Create an ad. It's very easy. Just follow these steps. We're not going to be running ads from there. Instead, you need to set up something that is called a business manager, and then you get access to the true ads manager that is inside of the Meta platform. And this is something that you only have to do once, and then you have access to all of the tools. Now, another mistake that I see a lot of agents and new advertisers make is they utilize an ads manager in a third-party tool. So for example, a Go High Level based CRM, there's so many out there. They have an ads manager inside of their platform. You do not want to ever be running ads from the third party platform because the reality is they are built for simplicity. They greatly limit your ability to fully leverage Meta's advanced ad features. And this is actually just a few of the things that if you are utilizing Go High Level Ads Manager, you do not have access to. And the other list is things that you do inside of the Ads Manager. And since I had AI do a deep research and create this for me, there's actually two new features that we're going to talk about at the end that Go High Level and third-party tools do not have access to. You have to use the Ads Manager. And the most concerning thing for me is you don't have the ability to break down the stats by age. And you're going to see that having the ability to break down stats by age is going to be the key to making optimal decisions. Because obviously, if we're running a Medicare ad, we do not want people in their 30s or 40s to be clicking on the ad. So we need to have access to that information to know which audience it's actually resonating with. So the reality is if you click boost that post, you click an ad inside of the business suite or you use a third-party tool, it's like ordering off of a kids menu. You have access to food. It's just a very limited selection of food. So it's shortcuts that will cost you results. It's missing crucial tools and you've got limited data. So that is the very first thing is to access the actual ads manager. Then step number 2, you want to have a strategic campaign structure and your ads messaging. So when you get in the back end of the ads manager, it can seem a little bit intimidating because you're going to see all these different buttons. You're going to see 3 different tabs, the campaign, the ad set, and the ads. But I promise you, it's actually not that complicated. So the way that I teach agents is I teach when we are building an ad campaign, it is like we are building a beautiful tree. So the campaign tab is the roots of the operation. It is going to say that we are in a meta special ad category and it is going to control other optimizations. Then within that campaign, we have our ad sets, which are the branches. And those are the audiences that we are specifically wanting to target. And then inside of that ad set, we have the leaves or the actual ads that that audience will see. So for example, if we have one campaign, we might classify in one ad set, we might be focusing on T65. And then those are T65 specific leaves or ads. Then we have a branch that's Medicare. And then we have a branch that's final expense. Or maybe we want to get really specific with our ACA ads or our Medicare ads, and one branch is to Alabama, one branch is to Texas, and one branch is to Florida, and so on. So we can make super specific messaging to really capture the attention of the residents in that area. And this brings me to kind of what the biggest ad mistake is that a lot of agents make and then their campaigns fail. And that is only using one ad creative. You guys, when you set it up in a very simple way and you only give Facebook one ad, it's going to drive your cost up because Meta greatly cares about the content served to its users. Now, it's not for a sweet reason. It's because they want people engaged and on the platform so they can serve them ads and they can make money off them. If you have one single ad and people are not instantly captivated by it, Meta doesn't have any options to test different things or get you very much data because we're only running the one ad. So having that will drive up your cost and it will limit the optimizations. So what you'll never see is a campaign structure that looks like this in an optimal world. If you set it up through the back way, then you're definitely going to have this structure. But we don't want to have one campaign with one ad set and one ad. Instead, we want to have at least multiple ads, 2 to 6 ads per ad set. So when I'm talking about an ad, here's a T65 ad. We've got these 3 different elements that go into an ad, right? So the middle part is the image, or it could be a video. The bottom part is the headline, and the top part is the ad copy or the text. Now, whenever we are running our ads, we are going to set up Meta with multiple different ads. And then I like to take it one step further and we give Meta a few different variations for the text and the headline. So for example, let's say these are my 3 ACA ads that I love and I'm very excited. This one on the left is specifically for Texas. I've got a Texas flag and everything. If I have these 3 images and I just add one more variation of the ad copy, the top part and I switch out the top part, suddenly Meta has these different options that they are able to mix and match and serve to people. And this is so extremely important because the key to having, this is the biggest takeaway, to having successful ads is very, very specific messaging. Because we live in a day and age, now the ads do the targeting. We're gone from running niche targeting for people turning 64, turning 65 in the month of May and being able to get that specific. We are in a day and age that the algorithm will match the content with the user. So when you have something that is so specific, like if you're turning 65 this year, there are three crucial deadlines you need to be aware of. That is going to make people either self-include or self-exclude. And if the right demographic is clicking on your ads, within the first 1,000 to 3,000 eyeballs, your ads will swing and start serving to the right demographic. Now, if you don't believe me, just start deviating from your normal behavior online. I was telling Luis the last time we talked, I started went for my very specific AI, what's happening in business, what's happening in the world, to watching baby elephants. And Meta instantly caught on to it. Now I'm getting served tons of baby elephants, and I don't hate it right now. So I'm going to enjoy my baby elephants until I make a decision to move my attention elsewhere. And the other thing is, I am not a Meta special ad category. I don't know if anyone in here has seen any of my ads, but I'm not a Meta special ad category. I should be able to run campaigns and target insurance agents as a profession. However, since June, their bots are constantly rejecting my ads because I use insurance language. So I'm having to run my campaigns in the special ad category. I can't target agents. I can't target anything because I'm not actually trying to sell an insurance product. But my ads are still attracting insurance agents because my messaging is so specific. So that is one of the biggest key takeaways, is having that super specific strategic messaging. And the third key is making data-driven optimizations. A lot of people think you just make ads, put them out there, and then you pray to the Facebook ad Lord to please let these get in front of the right people. There's actually data that we have access to that tells us exactly how our ad is performing and gives us some valuable insights. Now, this right here is where you're going to see the data inside of the Ads Manager. And I just want to show you how much data we have access to in the back end of the Ads Manager. It's a lot, guys. I'm going to take a sip of water. It's long. It's a lot of information, right? This is why people get overwhelmed when they first get inside of the Ads Manager. But the good news is, out of the 350 different metrics and terms that give you insight into your ads, there's only actually 15 that are important for you as an insurance agent. So I teach agents how to customize their columns so that way you can view those. And then 4 key metrics will tell you, do I need to switch out my ad copy? Are people clicking on my link? Is it my form conversion rate? Do I need to work on my clickability because my CPM is high? And so on. So those are the 3 keys to getting the results that look like this. And if this is the season that you're truly ready to start generating results like this, the truth is you have 3 different options. One, you can learn on your own and stay up to date on Meta's algorithm changes. There's information out there. The difficult part is finding up-to-date information and that is relevant specifically to insurance. You can hire an ads manager. A ads manager that knows what they're doing and is going to approach things ethically and custom is going to be $2,000 to $3,000 a month retainer. And that is not your ad spend. That is just to manage your ad campaigns. For many agents, that overhead doesn't make sense. So option 3 is spend a little bit of time and money to learn from someone. And that is why I created the course Insurance Click to Close. In 2022, the first iteration of this was released. And this course, it is the true step-by-step process that will teach you how to manage your own ads, or if you hire someone, how to oversee them for managing your ads. So let me show you the exact system and then these 2 new features where they fall into the walkthrough. So I teach you how to set up the backend, which we only have to do one time. Then we are going to set up the campaign structure. And then you are going to start serving your ads. And it's going to be exactly the same workflow that I showed you before. But when someone submits a form, you can either choose if you want to prompt them to schedule an appointment or prompt them to call you now. So let me show you what those two things could look like. So right here, if you have them call you now granted, they're already a lead, then it's going to pop up right here. Or they could click schedule a free consult and they could be taken to your scheduler page. Now, this brings me to two exciting updates that just happened, and it happens at this point in the workflow. So, the first one is when they go to submit a form, we now have the ability to do SMS verification right there on the platform. So, let me show you exactly what that looks like. So, the user is filling out the form, and right here, right there, their verification code comes in so they can verify it. So no more getting bots or bad numbers through the Meta lead form, which is very exciting. And then the second one I'm super excited about too, because this one does not increase your cost per lead at all. And that is opening a messenger conversation after they have become a lead. So if you're not aware, the iOS 26 update is going to happen in September. And what it's essentially going to do is give everyone access to Siri to screen their calls. So an AI screener. So if you are not in a client's phone as a contact, when you go to call them, the AI will answer and say, state your name and your reason for calling. You will have 10 seconds to say your name, and you'll have about 250 characters for there to be a message that pops up. This gives you a lifeline to your brand new leads. So let me show you exactly what this looks like. So a user is scrolling through. If they choose to click on your ad, they see the welcome page. Then they are going to fill out their information. Then they're going to see this extra little privacy policy, which they could untick, but it's going to be automatically ticked. And just like that, you can see that Facebook instantly sent them a message. Now, they've already become a lead at this point, and it's going to instantly open up a conversation that verifies their information they just sent to you. And what I would recommend that you utilize this for is it's a lifeline to your leads. I would say you could have a VA. I'm looking into if Zapier, if ManyChat can give us an automation for this, but you can send them a message and send them over your digital business card. Now, you might want to write this down. It's hihello.com. That is a free resource. You can create a professional looking business page. I know that some CRMs also offer a contact card, but if you're looking for a free thing to use, then this is fabulous, and you can send the contact card over. So this kind of gives you a lifeline to them. Now, a few cool things happen. So one, the lead drops into the Meta Lead Center. So you can go download all of their information at any point. But if you're utilizing a CRM, you're able to connect your form to this CRM, and then you are able to trigger an automation so it's following up for you. And if you choose to enroll in this course, there are bonus CRM trainings, and one of them is led by obviously our fabulous Luis, and he shares with you his automated workflows, and you instantly get access to these if you choose to use his preferred CRM, which is Agent CRM. So you get access to that as well in the course. So very quickly, we're not going to go over all this because we've got the information link for you, but I do want to point out the purpose of this course. I give you insurance specific lines of business. After we move through how to set up your initial campaign, you get access to, are we running it one line of business to multiple states, multiple lines of business? Is your goal to get a specific amount for final expense and a specific amount for Medicare? Or do you not care what the lead is? You just want the cheapest one, and so on. And of course, the goal is for you to become fully self-sufficient. And right now, we are offering some extra bonuses if you decide to enroll this week. So I do want to share with you briefly what those are. So the first one is the lead conversion toolkit. And this one is super exciting because this is a new bonus that I just added. This is where you're going to get access to a lead magnet funnel training. So what a lead magnet is it's essentially a valuable piece of content that you're able to give to someone that piques their curiosity. So for example, these two Medicare ads that I've been showing you are technically T65, and they're for a lead magnet. They're to download a free checklist. So in this extra bonus that you get for free, you get the lead magnet templates that are already created for you that you get to customize. T65 Medicare, life, ACA, or health insurance. You get 55 plus full ad copy. You're going to get tested ad copy for the lead magnet and tested ad copy for the book now slash AEP, OEP, or for final expense. You're going to get specific strategies to utilizing the form. You are going to get 150 different hooks. And of course, that's going to all be in video trainings. The second big bonus you get is how to get 5,000 plus likes with less than $100 ad spend. Look, when people are looking at your ads, they're going to click over and be nosy about who you are. And when they see that you have a little bit of a following, it can give a better social proof perception. So I'm going to show you how I took this test page from 0 all the way up to over 5,000 likes. And here is the compliant ad campaign. Now, I'm always super honest with you. These are not going to be your clients. If we were running specific ads in the United States for this, we'd be spending $7 to $8 a like, and that is not worth it. I would rather you spend your hard-earned money to generate information and leads, but we can use this super secret strategy to just blow up your page with some proof for $50 to $75 to $100 and kind of jumpstart your page. And very last but not least, you get access to this lead generation launchpad. This is basically for my newbies. If you're like, I don't even know how to navigate the platform, how to post, how to make a business page, how to navigate through Facebook, this one is for you. So that is how you're going to get the keys to unlock the results. So very quickly, here's what a few agents have to say after moving through the course. So Rosalind, it would have saved her $10,000. She said she's never seen a course that truly breaks everything down in a step-by-step manner. Edmund Matthews, his testimonial was actually much longer than this. It was amazing. He had spent over $1 million ad spend before he purchased this course. And this was the final thing that actually gave him the tools to be able to fine tune it and to decrease his cost per lead. I love that he says, I'm forthright and I have integrity. David Kell says that this is the best way for him to operate in the Medicare space. Once he has it set up, he just leaves it alone. And it's true. Once your campaign is set up, you only have to check in on it about 15 minutes every other week. Carissa says you do not need to have any experience for this course to work for you. We've got Kevin Roberts, who says he did not expect for it to actually last long term, that I keep the course fully up to date. And this is very true. My last update was last month. I updated about 50% of the course last month. And I love when agents talk about me behind my back. This was in the 7-figure Medicare agent group. This was posted. There were over 50 comments whenever I took the screenshot of this, of just agents saying how much they enjoyed the course. And it just made me so happy. Mike says that the latest updates have been good. They're talking about how I keep it up to date. And it made me so excited that they were talking about me behind my back. So let's talk about what the actual investment is for the course. So we've got the course value. We've got the bonus value. So we've got the total value at over $15,000. Now you might be like, come on, that's ridiculous. Well, the truth is, if you hire an ads manager, you're looking at $30,000 a year as an overhead. The investment for this course is $1,997. So that is less than 1 month of hiring an ads manager. But right now and during this week, if you choose to enroll, I'm offering a $500 voucher, which will make your one-time investment be $1,497. That gives you lifetime access to any and all future updates. And there are payment plans available, which you will see when I show you the checkout page. Plus, this is, of course, tax deductible. And if you're the type of agent that you want hands-on support, you want to be able to ask me questions and my team, this is completely optional, but I do have the Inner Circle membership, and that's where you get access to hands-on support in my private Facebook group. I've got several ads coaches that have been with me since 23 that answer questions inside of there. We have 3 live monthly support meetings where we all come together, then we break off into smaller rooms to work on the ad accounts and help agents optimize, and then we come back together at the end. So if you are interested in having access to hands-on help, that is typically $118 a month. But right after you enroll, you're going to get a one-time invite for $57 a month. Your rate will never increase, and you'll never ever see that special ever again. It's only for when you first join. So if you're like, yes, I'm interested in learning more about this, Luis has dropped the link inside. You're going to go over to that link, check it out. You're going to see so much information. I don't hold back because I understand that this is a very big decision. You're going to see the countdown timer, which is going to expire this Friday at exactly 11:59 p.m. So as long as you click that enroll button by then, it's going to take you to the checkout page where you're going to see the voucher is applied. So you'll see your total price and you will see the opportunity to utilize a payment plan with Affirm Afterpay or Klarna. And that is how you will get instant access to start working on generating results that look like that. So I know that was like so much information. So if you have any questions about anything, not only with the course, but just with meta ads or with online marketing or anything like that, then let's go for it. What questions do you guys have? Because I know that was a lot of information.
While we wait for some people to unmute and just go ahead and hop in, guys, here's some messages that I've got. So, Shauna, on the course, is it a one-time purchase, or do they have to continue buying?
Yeah, it is a one-time purchase. So even if you're like, I can't get to this right now, actually that Facebook post was talking about she bought it. I only have this special about twice a year with the voucher, and I've never ever made an exception for someone to come in outside of the promotion. So even though I know I'll get emails on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I've never made an exception because I like to stay true to my word. But it's lifetime access. So I have agents that joined in 2022 and they will vouch for me and say, yeah, she keeps the course up to date multiple times a year. They get the update email. They don't pay anything extra. If I add bonuses, I always just give it to the agents because I truly just care about you having access to current up-to-date information for you to be successful.
Beautiful. And then you kind of nailed question number two, which was how often do you update? We know Facebook always tends to change their algorithms or methods of doing stuff.
I do. The moment that they make a change, I am on top of it. For example, when the big change happened in January, I emailed everyone and I said, "Look, this change has happened. Give me until the end of February because I wanted to test ads myself and some dummy accounts to see if I could get T65, to see if I could get Medicare, to see if I could get final expense." And after I tested it, I kept them up to date, released the first iteration in February, and then this July, I just updated it again now that everything's kind of settled and there's some new features.
Cool. All right. Anybody want to unmute? I've got a couple more questions that I've written down. Just unmute, bottom left, you've got the little mic. You can click on it and you'll get unmuted and ask Sean. Okay, here's one that came through right now. Is there a way to run two different ad setups? One that routes leads directly to call me when I'm available, and another one that leads to their CRM when they're not available. Basically, can I switch between turning on and off live call ads?
So, Charles, Facebook works best whenever it is able to serve and test out the different elements. So, we're talking about two kind of different types of ads. One, we're running ads to get people to stop what they're doing and call you. Two, we're running ads to try to collect their information. When we are utilizing something like social media, it is disruptive marketing. People are wanting to look at baby elephants. They're wanting to look at like whatever it is that they're interested in, recipes, what's happening with their grandkids, and so on. We are moving away from very many people, unless your ad is so compelling and so urgent for them to stop getting their dopamine hit and give you a call. What we can do is interrupt them and flash how much of a benefit it is to talk to us, how much of the pain points that we're going to be removing, and get them to give us their information. So, what I would say is we want to pluck them off the platform and get their information as soon as possible. So, what I would say that would make sense for you is we get their information off the platform that is running at all times, and then you can have an ad that is running. I would say you retarget people that have interacted with you already before, and it is a call now ad, and you can custom set up a schedule where it only runs Monday through Thursday, 10 to 2, and that's the schedule. And when it's set like that, Meta will adapt to the schedule that you've locked it into and only serve those ads during that time. Now, could you do what you're talking about and have it where it's a schedule for this and a schedule for that? You could, but your best interest is to pluck their information off the platform as soon as possible so you can email them, you can text them, you can message them on Facebook, and so on, in my
Okay,
experience.
Charles, hopefully you got the answer there. It's a little technical for me, but if not, just follow up with a follow-up question. From Gary,
Sorry.
Shauna, what is the amount of budget needed to utilize your training monthly on Facebook?
So, most agents, I would say it's best to start with $10 to $20 a day. Obviously, a little bit more budget is going to get you a little bit more information. The nice thing is you have complete control. So if we're starting at $20 a day, we let it run for about a week or two, we get the information, we make optimizations. Or if that campaign is taken off, then you can slowly start to scale it up to, you can spend thousands of dollars a day if you want to.
Okay, Shauna, so with the latest changes to ACA that we're dealing with the one beautiful big bill, ACA is going to become more seasonal, where writing outside of the open enrollment is going to be truly an SCP, which is going to limit the amount of enrollments we do outside of that period or within that period. So during OEP this year, guys, which is just a normal OEP like what we had in the past 2.5 months, November the 1st to December 15th, if we want to optimize the leads that are coming in during that period, what's the start time that we should be doing, putting our ads out there so that, I don't want to do it a week before October the 1st, do we?
So you're talking about specifically for ACA. I would
Correct.
probably say you want to start running your ads about 4 weeks before. You can already be making appointments during OEP to actually get them set up with a plan, but I would definitely want to be running them about at least 4 weeks out. This will give you a little bit of time. Look, your ad account is probably not going to be a unicorn. You're probably not going to launch your first campaign in a brand new ad account and instantly get results. So you want to have a little bit of time for you to test some things and for the algorithm to get to know what your account is about because this essentially becomes a team thing. The only thing that lead vendors have on you guys, look, I have a bonus video inside of the course. I just added. I wasn't sure if I wanted to, but I expose certain lead vendors that accidentally have their LLCs attached to their dummy pages. And from those dummy pages, I'm able to uncover all the other dummy pages that they're running ads from. They are not doing anything special. Their ads are very generic. And the only thing that they have on you guys is they've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in one ad account and gotten it optimized to get in front of the right demographic. I do believe that over the next 2 years, their reach and their prices, it's going to go up and their ad quality is going to go down because their content, unless they up their game and they're not just outsourcing it to people that are just doing AI generated type ads, that's the only thing that they have on you. You have the full ability to do everything that a lead vendor is doing, but with your name, your branding, and to actually build a foundation. People say you start marketing when you don't need the business. So it's something that's ever going, that's a foundation if you're in this for the long game, then it's something that you definitely want to do at some point.
And I'm totally against buying leads. And not because of anything other than I've done it and I've wasted so much money, super frustrating. Because when I get that lead, it's just not coming to me, guys. You got to realize these lead companies are in the business of selling leads. That's it. And so they're not just selling it to you, they're selling it to 20, 30, 40 agents. And now we're competing for the same client. And back in the day, Shauna, it was so easy to steal. So I would actually maybe even write a policy, and then within minutes, it got stolen. And then it got stolen. And then I steal it back. And it was just like, oh, forget this. And so when you do your own ads, you control the advertisement. You control the leads are yours. You're not sharing them with anybody except you and your staff. And to me, I believe that when you're running your own ads, the intent is much, much higher because you're controlling the ad copy. So speaking of intent, the text verification. So that wasn't an option back in the day. Is this really Before it would just be like the numbers would get pre-filled and then there were crap numbers. You were like, I'd get
Mhm.
messages like, Luis, I got a bunch of leads and it's not working. I keep calling, it's a dead number or whatever. Is this really going to help us out with the false numbers?
It is absolutely, it is already helping out with agents. This is actually something that's interesting is when Meta rolls out updates, they typically will not give it to everyone. It'll be like kind of like these ad accounts, these ad accounts, these ad accounts. And I have one agent that finally, like literally, she got on support with Meta, is like everyone else in this group has this access. Everyone should have access to it now, and it is a game changer. Will it increase the cost per lead a little bit? Yeah, it will, but who cares? Like you want to spend that extra buck or two in order to make sure it's a valid person with a real phone number. Now, I will say if you're trying to get the phone number from people, your ad copy and your messaging needs to be compelling. This like, hey, like get the best Medicare plan, give me your number. That's not what's going to fly whenever it's disruptive marketing. It needs to be like if you're overwhelmed with Medicare, you're not alone. My name is Shauna, and I specialize in enrolling people in Medicare for the very first time. And I believe that everyone has a right to get all of their questions answered. If you are concerned about out-of-pocket costs, your doctor being in network, making sure that your prescription is covered, I'm the person that you want to speak to. Click the button below to schedule your free, no-cost consult, and I'll be in touch with you soon. I truly value the clients that I work with, and I look forward to meeting you. Completely different feel when someone reads that versus like get your social security check or like it's a giveaway or just like it's open enrollment, like talk to us about Medicare. So that compelling messaging is what's going to set you apart from the very beginning.
Super cool. And then for a little while, we thought as us insurance agents were going to be put out of the Facebook marketing because of the special category. We're like, oh man, I'm only licensed in Texas and this ad is going to go to people all over the state, all over the US. Well, now one of your screenshots says, hey, we can target market.
Yes. Yes, you can still control the states and you can control the cities. What we can't control is the zip codes and we can't ask for the zip codes. Now, once you get them off the platform, you can send them an email and say, hey, there's specific plans that are only available based on your zip code. Can you complete the rest of this form? You can get whatever you want from them after you get them off the platform. But no, you still can target only specifically to the states. And like I've said, I'll be honest, when I realized that I was going to have to run my own business's ads in special ad category to avoid this manual review and this back and forth with Meta, and I said, F it, I'm just going to actually see if I can get insurance agents, even though I'm running in an ad that's categorized for people looking for it. It's completely worked. I'm blown away. I have a webinar ad that's running right now that has attracted only insurance agents. And it's because my content is so specific. No one is confused thinking that I'm actually offering insurance. So that messaging, their algorithm knows exactly what it's about. Is it a cat? Is it a message for insurance agents? Is it a baby elephant? It knows what it's about and what the people are interested in, and it will help match it together.
And that's a nice thing. And the beauty of our insurance licenses is when we get a license in the state, we can sell anywhere in that state. And yes, here's the other deal. I tell you, just get every carrier in every state that you're in, because yeah, you one carrier may be in this area, but not in that area. But if you've got all the carriers, you're going to be able to take care of that client and not waste money on a lead. You've hit all my questions that I've written down. Guys, any questions, just unmute yourself or put it in the chat and we'll ask Shauna. Um, the course, guys, yes, we're running a special to the end of the week. Take advantage of it because it'll go back to regular pricing. This doesn't
Mhm.
run often.
Mhm.
Let's see if we get somebody to unmute.
Yep,
But
this
but pretty
is your
cool. I
Hello,
chance.
mean, go ahead.
hello, Shanna. Hello, Luis. Good morning.
Morning.
I have one question regarding the price. Is it possible to pay in quotes or maybe, I don't know, give it down payment and then continue payment monthly, or we have to pay everything on one payment.
Yes. So when you click on the link Luis has in the chat and you click the enroll now, it will open the checkout page and you will see different options inside of it for payment plans. You can choose Affirm, Klarna, or Afterpay. And basically it's a contract between this third party creditor and you will be able to customize what type of payment plan you want. Do you want 3 months? Do you want 6 months? I'm sure that they also have something where you could extend it to 12 months. And that's something that you're completely able to customize on your own from that. And then keep
Take
your receipt
advantage of it.
because it's tax
Thank you so
deductible.
much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, Isaac. Good question. Here's the other deal, guys, that I will tell you. The one question that I get regularly from agents is, where am I going to find my leads? We get them contracted, we get them trained, we get the right tools in place so that you can do your job. But if you can't find a way to get in front of people, you're going to go broke. And it happens all the time. So you got to make an investment. The investment is this, guys. You're either going to give your money to a lead company and fight for those leads because you know they're going to get shared, or you're going to make the investment in yourself and learn how to do this. Now, Shauna, I will tell you, I got the course. Probably, I don't need to learn how to do this thing. I mean, maybe I should, but I have so many irons in the fire. But with this course, Shauna, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do have the ability for one of my staff to learn how to do this and help run ads on my behalf. We good on that?
Yes. Yes, honestly, while I truly believe it's important for you to at least know what's going on. So once you have your account properly set up, that you are the owner, so the way that Facebook sees it as me, Shauna, the person, and then my social waves media stuff is business assets, my Facebook page, my Instagram page, my ad account, my website, and so on. Shauna has the key to these business assets. Once I have it properly set up, I can give the key to people that are on my team, whether it's a VA, whether it's a contractor I choose to work with, and so on. You give them the key to your assets, and then they are able to compliantly and safely manage your ads for you or work on your account for you. You still have full control. So yes, I have agents that enroll in the course, and then they will have their VA actually move through the course. They'll get the back end set up. They will join my membership with their Facebook page, and then they will give their team member access to their Facebook page so that team member can come in, ask questions, show up to the meetings, and so on. So yes, this is definitely something that you can have your VA or someone else move through, and then you still have access to be able to know exactly what's going on.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you're right. Yes, I need to know because I'm the one spending the money. Okay, I don't want
Yes.
them to get on there and hey, things go haywire. Yeah, I need maybe they don't do a right ad copy. Maybe they do a giveaway. I'm like, no, no, no. Yeah, I want to know what
Yes.
they're producing, what they're going to create. Yes, but let them. That's kind of the way I operate. I'm going to let
But
them
you
do.
have a team and people that you trust, which is very different than when you just randomly go get a marketer that's going to set it up and you're not aware that one of the things I see in your space that shocked me is, let's say you hire me to manage your ads. And I'm like, okay, I'll manage your ads for you, pay me this much a month. And then what you don't realize is I run your ads from one of my ad accounts. So guess what? If we break up, I walk away with an ad account that we just spent your money on. I got the data for this specific line of business. Now I'm going to go plug someone else in and instantly be able to generate them leads. You walk away from it. In my opinion, that's very unethical. So when you have people you can trust or you're working with an ethical ads manager, they're going to set it up the proper way and be a partner to your assets, but you still should own all of your assets.
Yeah, and I know there's organizations like that. And I don't they use the same ad copy usually, like what's working for this guy, and they just kind of plug it in and they share it, and then they charge you a fee above what Facebook charges you because that's how they're making money. But then you decide, well, you know what, I'm done with it, and then they keep everything. You don't have, all that data is gone, so not a good thing. Gary asked Shauna, who will I be working during the course? So, or who will I be working with during the course?
So, Gary, the course is completely self-paced. You aren't working with anyone. It does not come with support. Of course, if you email us and you like have a little hang up, like we'll offer some like response and help you out with this. But to keep the cost where it's at, there's not hands-on support associated with that. If you want hands-on support, that's the $57 a month, the one-time invite, and then you get direct access to me through the Facebook group and my team of ads coaches. So you can post in the group, ask a question. If I don't answer you, Keisha will, Jody will, Megan will, one of them will answer you and will give you some information that you're looking for. Then during the actual calls, I am typically on most all of the calls with at least two ads coaches. So you might be in a room with me, or if you're doing the back end setup, you might go off with one of my ads coaches to get the back end setup. So it depends. It's what you would like to have. And of course, that membership you can cancel anytime. Some agents will literally come in for like 2 months, get a little help, and then they'll leave. And then they just come back in for 118 when they need help. And then it's completely up to you to be able to cancel that at any time. I don't hold anyone hostage.
Cool. This is coming from Neil. With the Apple update coming up, yes, we are not liking this. Calls get filtered by the AI you mentioned. Also, once an incoming call comes in, does the AI filter if I'm
Yes.
returning a client's call?
Yeah. If they have it turned on, if you are not in their contact list, it will go through the AI filter. It will. So I actually have a YouTube video that's coming out that I have a script and everything to say to that. But Neil, I know you're in the course, so I actually have it inside of the course, utilizing that messenger to be able to send over your contact card. But yes, now look, could this be doom and gloom? Yeah, but honestly, for the good agents, this is your opportunity to rise to the top. And once you are in someone's phone, you are less likely to get a client that's going to be flipped because now you are in their phone as their Medicare agent, their whatever health insurance agent, their PNC, whatever it is, their car insurance agent. You're in their phone and you're able to access them. So I'm telling agents, even if you're like dreading this, I would send an email to your list about how you're excited for this update because you hate spam. When you hate spam, it sets you apart from spam, right? And then say the importance of giving them your contact card so that way they know that it's you whenever you're reaching out and that you only reach out during obviously very important times. So it's we could swing it to make it be good for us.
And one of the things I'm doing on my workflows is I am adding a action to these workflows where your contact card is going to be set to them. Okay. So within Agent CRM, they've created a piece of, I guess it's a software where you plug in all your data, your name. I think you can upload a picture. I'm trying to remember, I did
Yeah.
this when they came up with it. Your phone numbers, not number, but phone numbers. So I've got my cell, but I've also got office numbers. And so you plug in all your numbers and it creates a VCF file, whatever, some kind of file.
Mm-hmm.
And then you text that in the workflow, it'll automatically send it to them and you just give them a message. Hey, Shauna, this is Luis, your insurance agent. Here's what I'd like for you to do. Do me a favor and please click on this card and just hit save. That's it. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to plug in your number, copy, paste, none of that crap. It is just click save. Now you're in their contact list and you're good to go. So we're going to have to do that, guys. It's just one of those things. We're going to have to adapt to that. And so all of my workflows, we're updating them now. I've created the 2.0 version of them. We're double checking them. We're going to be adding this next action step so that you do get that ability to send them the contact card. Because otherwise, yeah, you're going to get screened. You're going to leave a message. Hey, Shauna, this is Luis, insurance agent. You're not going to get through. It just, kind of depends. And, that's just the word we're going to have to deal with.
Luis, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Shauna, when you have, how are you guys going to manage English and Spanish? Because, for example, with Agent CRN, they have new automations now, so we can have automations in Spanish and English through the form. It means we need to have two separate
Yeah.
accounts, one in Spanish and one in English, or how do you
No.
recommend to do it? What we should do?
So there's a couple of different ways that we can structure your campaigns, but yes, you can absolutely run Spanish speaking ads. When I talked about building out the tree, you can either have an entire tree that is Spanish speaking lines of business and everything and that is going to be Spanish, Or it could be, depending on your goals, more optimal to set it up where it's one tree, one branch is English, one branch is Spanish. And absolutely, those ads are performing extremely well. You would have a different form for English speaking Medicare, a different form for Spanish speaking Medicare, have that attached to the CRM so that way they drop into the appropriate workflow. It's absolutely fabulous to be running multiple languages. Spanish is performing extremely well across all of the different marketplaces. So it's definitely something that there's a little bit of a hole for it to be able to come in. And it's going to be served to people that primarily look at their feeds through Spanish or those that are bilingual, that their feed is a mix and matched.
Yeah, super cool. I think running ads in Spanish is a niche, and I see a lot of English ads and very, very few Spanish ads. So definitely, I think, and is that a good thing or a bad thing, Shauna, with less competition on the Spanish? Was that going to make costs higher or lower?
Lower. It's awesome if you can find, especially this is why there's different pages that focus more on veterans or more on truckers or more on certain businesses that need PNC like commercially. Having those specific language and the specific market for that is a wonderful thing. So if you're bilingual and you serve clients bilingually, you absolutely need to be taking advantage of your ads. In fact, I would say if you run it, we're at the campaign level. We've got Medicare Spanish, Medicare English. We can put it at the campaign level, the budget, and then it'll just get you the cheapest cost per lead if you don't care if it's Spanish or English. You can also control the budget if you're like, I want to put this much for English, this much for Spanish. But for most agents, you just want the cheapest cost per lead if it's all kind of to the same line of business.
Yeah, definitely take care of the extra language that you can speak.
Yes.
It is a niche, and we can carve it out, and it's a really good niche.
Yes.
Anyone else with some questions, guys? Feel free to come ask. Here's the deal. I'm posting the link down below. Guys, whether you use any CRM, I got a question here on the CRM. You can use any CRM, guys. One of the things that I've provided in Shauna's course is if you use Agent CRM, you get the workflows built in. If you have another CRM that you're utilizing, I created a PDF with the action steps so that all you got to do is copy and paste and post it in there. I know it's not easy to switch CRMs if you got one that you've been using and
Yeah.
all that data in there, but I don't want you to be limited. So the bottom line is I can't really, there's not an ability just to give you a file so you can import. You're going to have to do a little bit of workflow building and copy paste, copy paste. And it's not that hard, but it's kind of a pain in the butt, but it's doable. Yes, and Armando, perfect. Yeah, Shauna put the information there on the course. It's a one-time cost. It's not anything lifetime or monthly, unless you decide to do maybe the monthly pay option, or you join her group on Facebook, for that additional training.
Yes, absolutely. And like I did say, look, I'm not the right mentor for everyone. This is for agents that truly want to understand lead generation and you want to transform into your own lead generation expert. This is not a blind walkthrough. Let's just slap some ads up. I want you to understand the reason that you're making decisions. So after you complete the course, you can fully understand what's happening in the ads manager from this point moving forward. But if this is something that you're interested in, then now is the time to lock it in because I'm not kidding when I say I will always get emails the day after a promotion ends, all the way up through the Monday. I've never made an exception. Half the agents get angry at me, tell me I'm a terrible person because like if I don't want their money, they'll take it elsewhere. The other half are like, we love that, we respect that. Now that we know that this is how you are with everyone, I'll either buy now or I'll wait until the next promotion. So check it out. Now's the
Yeah.
time to get that gut check if it's the right decision.
No, and trust me, guys. I've tried. Shauna, give me a code. Come on. Nope, not gonna happen. Sorry, it is what it is. Okay.
Yes.
Well, awesome. Hey, Shauna, thank you for your time. I appreciate it, guys. I'll finish off with this. Okay, us agents, we got to take control. I don't want my lead sources to be dependent on somebody else.
Yes.
This is why I've partnered up with Shauna, asked her, hey, help me out here. And here's the other thing I'm going to throw out because you guys are probably like me, but probably not as bad as me. But my attention span is like a little squirrel. I'm like, So I told her, Shauna, when you create this course, don't make a big 2 hour video. I said, you got to make little chunks that we can digest. We accomplished this mission, and we can go to step 2, step 3. How many little sections on your course do you have?
It's a lot of little sections. It's little bite-sized pieces at a time. And I like to say I used to hate marketing. When I launched my first online business in 2015, I hated it. I hated it so much. I didn't understand it. I was not tech savvy. Guys, something I don't share all the time is for 15 years before I did this, I was a trainer at SeaWorld. I was being thrown in the air by whales and dolphins. And I had this little bug in me to start a business, and it's turned into this. But I think part of that is the reason why I'm skilled at breaking down things in such a step-by-step linear process because I didn't understand it. It didn't click for me instantly. It's something that I had to learn well into like my late 30s. So this is something that I think now is a benefit that I'm able to break things down in such a clear step-by-step process.
Beautiful. So guys, it's digestible. And also here's the other thing. We'll finish off with this, Shauna. Once I do this and once I get set up and I hear agents, how much time am I going to have to put into this to keep these ads running?
Yeah, well, that's the best part. Once you get an ad campaign that is performing well, you need to check on it about 15 minutes every other week. Now, me, myself, I'm running webinar ads. So there's a start date and an end date. I'm spending about $5,000 over the course of like a week and a half. I'm not even looking at the ads. I set them up. I'm letting them run. They're doing their thing. I did end up making like one little tweak by turning off an ad that wasn't performing as well as others. But this is not something, when you set it up with all of the different options for Meta, you're not in there like checking it and changing it every other day. You need to let it run. You need to let it optimize. And then you need to actually get some data to make some actual good decisions.
So take advantage, guys. I'm posting the link one more time. Click on it. End Friday night, midnight. Done. Okay. Goes back to regular pricing. Hey, a little discount helps. And it's just not a little, guys. It's 25% off the normal price. So it does make a difference. Every penny counts. All right, Shauna. Hey, again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Guys, thank you for being on here today. Take advantage of it. And again, I appreciate everything.
Bye, guys.